Welcome everyone to the May 15th meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals. I will now call this meeting to order. The chair requests staff confirmation that the Kansas Open Meeting Act required notice has been properly provided.
Yes, I can confirm the packet was posted and the required notice was provided.
Thank you. At this time, we'll have roll call.
I will call roll of those present. Board Member Dorsweiler.
Present.
Board Member Creer.
Present.
Board Member May.
Present.
Board Member Paget.
Here.
Board Member Owens.
Here.
Board Member Troe.
Here.
Chair Hardy.
Here. Thank you.
So we've got our full membership of 7 here. That constitutes a quorum, and we've provided notice of today's meeting, so we may proceed with today's business.
Very good. Thank you. Under approval of minutes, you have received the minutes from our meeting of April 21st, 2025. Are there any questions or changes or amendments to the minutes?
I move we approve the minutes of April 21st, 2025.
We have a motion. Second. We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Motion carries, and the minutes will be filed as presented. Under new business, we have application number AP 25-1 filed by Caitlin Wells. At this time, we'll have a summary presentation by staff.
So we're going to have Mr. Roberts present this case to you. This involves an appeal of a home occupation certificate that was denied by the zoning administrator.
Thank you, Dean. So the applicant submitted a home occupation certificate application to the Development Services Department to operate a nail and henna studio from her detached garage at 508 Franklin Street on March 27th, 2025. My bad. Thank you, Daisy. The city allows for certain home occupations to be operated as an accessory use in all residential districts, subject to certain restrictions and limitations. One of those restrictions is that home occupations must be conducted entirely within the principal residential building, and such use must clearly be incidental and secondary to the residential use of the dwelling. Because the applicant is proposing to operate her nail and henna business from a detached garage, staff was unable to administratively approve the applicant's request for a home occupation certificate. However, a home occupation certificate may be approved and issued by the Board of Zoning Appeals, allowing the proposed use to be located in a detached garage. If the board finds in its review that the proposed use of the garage will not have any adverse effect on the neighboring properties. So that is what brings us here today. So beauty shops, including nail salons, are listed as permitted home occupations in section 4260 of the zoning ordinance. The purpose behind requiring BZA approval for the business activities located in accessory buildings is that accessory buildings can be located closer to property lines than dwellings. So your dwelling or your home is required to have a 7.5-foot setback from the property line, where your accessory structure or your detached garage is required to have a 3-foot separation from the property line. Additionally, detached structures can often have less sound insulation and may require larger door openings, which can lead to a greater impact on neighboring properties. From staff's perspective, however, beauty or nail salons in a detached garage is not likely to have more impact on neighboring properties than one located inside a house, because the primary impact from a beauty or nail salon is customers parking, entering and leaving the premises, not necessarily the noise of the home occupation taking place. Staff would also note that generally beauty salons and other similar home occupations can be conducted within an attached garage. This property does not have an attached garage and instead has a detached garage where the proposed nail salon is located. So Dustin has on the screen for you the map, which shows you the To the south of the property, the dwelling itself, and then behind where his mouse is the location of the detached garage. In the upper northwest portion of the detached garage, there is a 7-foot 8-inch by 15-foot 8-inch portion of the 481 square foot garage that is intended to be used for a nail and henna studio. The entrance to the nail salon is through a doorway on the west side of the garage, and the applicant has supplied a floor plan for the space as well as photos showing the nail salon as constructed. These plans and photos are included within the report. So you can see here, that's the primary entrance. The applicant has a 95-foot approximate long driveway from the property line back to the garage. So, and somebody would park in the driveway, walk up, and then the nail studio is on the west side. Right here you can see the entrance into the nail studio. So the applicant's property is a 50-foot by 150-foot lot that faces Franklin Street to the south. The surrounding area is solidly residential with single-family homes on similar-sized lots, forming a larger R1 single-family residential district. The existing detached garage is located toward the rear of the property. An existing single-wide driveway enters the property from Franklin Street, which is a residential street, and is approximately 95 feet from the edge of the driveway to the detached garage. The driveway appears to have sufficient length to allow customers of the one-chair salon to park their vehicles off the street in addition to the residents of the home. The primary impact in this case would be on the lot directly to the east, where there's a 3-foot setback between the garage and the property line. However, with the nail salon being located in the northwest corner of the garage, there is an approximate 15-foot separation between the property to the east and where the use or the nail salon would be located. There is a 30-foot separation from the rear of the existing garage to the rear yard of the property located adjacent to the north. And there's a 6-foot privacy fence that separates the subject structure from both the properties on the east and the property to the north. Section 42597D of the zoning ordinance states that appeals to the Board of Zoning Appeals may be taken by any person aggrieved or affected by a decision or interpretation of the zoning administrator. The board, sitting as a quasi-judicial body, has the power to hear and decide such appeals. Under Section 4260, a home occupation certificate may be issued to an applicant to allow a home-based business to be located in a detached garage, but only following review and approval by this board. So the board, your options here today are to direct that a home occupation certificate be issued for the applicant's business if it finds that the business operation will have no adverse effect on adjacent and neighboring properties, or the board may vote to deny the certificate if it finds that adjacent or neighboring properties would be adversely affected by operation of the business of this type in a detached garage. And we would just note that the following restrictions found on page 3 apply to any and all home occupations. If you go to the home occupation section of the code, you will find the 7 conditions listed. We apply to those to all our home occupations. So we just wanted to give you that as a reference as you discuss and make your decision here today. And with that, staff is available for any questions you might have, and the applicant, Ms. Wells, is here as well to answer any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions for staff at this time?
I have one.
Go ahead.
I thought beauty shops, nail salon, state was required to have a restroom facility. Is that not correct?
He mentioned our nail salons or beauty salons required to have a restroom per the state.
I'm sorry.
Beauty salons are, nail salons are not, but they do have to have a sink.
Okay. and Dustin had photos pulled up. In case the board did not hear her, she said beauty salons are required to have a restroom. Nail salons are just required to have an operational sink. And the salon that is proposed in this case does have a sink. At the end there, Dustin had photos pulled up of what the studio looks like, and you can see in the top east corner, the right side of the screen, you can see that there is the location where a sink has been installed. So there is an operational sink in the nail studio.
And if we allow the home occupation certificate, then we do not have to add the restrictions at the bottom.
That would be correct. Those would be generally applied to all home occupations.
Okay, very good. Other questions for staff? All right, is the applicant available for questions? Please step to the microphone and give us your name and address for the record.
We have one question from...
Do we have another case that's precedent for this?
So we had I believe it was in 2007, we had a appeal for a beauty salon in a garage over on Garden Avenue, and that one was approved by the board.
On detached or?
Yep, it would have been a beauty salon in a detached shed in that case, not a garage, but yes.
It's much more common for people to, I've seen cases where they've converted an attached garage to a beauty salon space or created the space within their home. But those, because they're in the primary dwelling and the attached garage is considered primary the dwelling, those don't come before the board. But I have worked on cases on Highland Avenue and on Mercury, South 9th Street, where this board has approved home occupations in detached garage. Sometimes the whole detached garage, sometimes just a portion of the detached garage.
All right. Does that take care of all of our questions then? Okay, thank you. Go ahead and give us your name and address, please.
My name is Kaylin Wells, and I live at 508 Franklin Street. I don't really know. One of my arguments, I guess, when I filled out the paperwork was that you're also allowed to have like an artist studio. And I brought pictures of my work so you can see that it's more closely related to art than just like beauty. If I could.
Thank you.
And one of the reasons that I have to do it in my detached garage is because State Board for Cosmetology requires its own separate entrance and exit, and it would take like a lot of construction to my dwelling and ruin the like the flow of the house. I'm sorry, I'm very nervous. So and we can't do that to our house because it would lower the resale value, and just be cost prohibitive.
Okay, any other thing that you've heard from staff that you might like to elaborate on too?
I don't think so. They said that it was pretty low impact to the neighborhood since I can ask them to park in my driveway, and I accept it's appointment only, and I give a nice like 20-25 minute break in between to give me time to clean up and things like that. And also I can only fit like 3, maybe 4 people in a day because I have kids to shuttle around and things like that, and my back just couldn't take it. So it would be, you know, at most during the holidays, like 4 people a day, more likely 2 to 3.
Okay, very good. Are there any questions for the applicant?
Yeah, I got actually 2 questions in a statement. But anyway, what's henna?
Henna is, it's a plant. You crush it up and add essential oils, lemon juice, sugar, and things like that, and you apply it to the skin, kind of like a cake decorator would in a little cone, and then you leave it on the skin, and then after a few hours you take it off, and it leaves a stain for 2-3 weeks. So it's kind of like face painting, but it stays on for a long time, so it's like a temporary tattoo.
Okay, I saw that in there, and I'm like, what the heck is that?
Yep. I've done a few things around Salina. I've been doing henna for 5 years. I did the River Festival 1 year, but it's just me, so that was like way too hard to do it another year. And then I worked for Lindsberg and Bloom, Bethany College. I rented a room from the temple for a little while. So I've been doing it for a while.
I would be careful quoting all those because people might think, oh, she can't stay anywhere very long, can
Well,
she?
I don't have I'm mobile, so I just kind of show up and do parties and things like that.
Secondly, I seem to remember there was a slant on your driveway,
Yes. I mean, it's not terrible, but yeah.
so that wouldn't be any problem in like December after a snowstorm.
Well,
or
we were already
anything.
looking at snow blowers. We always have to do, like, with it being slanted like that, we do already take take quite a bit of measures just to make sure that, me or the kids don't fall too. So
Right.
we're aware and we're willing to do all the work for that during the winter months.
Okay. And my third question is, since you're an artist, that means you can charge her more, right?
I mean, I could, but she's one of my favorites, so.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right, other questions for the applicant? This time. All right, thank you. At this time, we'll bring this application back to the board for discussion and possible motion.
And we would just note, staff would just note that we did send out property owner letters to surrounding properties. We did not receive any comment, and it does not appear that there's anybody from the public in the room. And then, is there?
We do not have anyone from the public online or in the room.
All right, well, thank you for that extra information. All right, what do you think?
I'll make a motion.
All right, go ahead.
I move that we direct that a home occupation certificate be issued for the applicant's business with the restrictions and limitations that's listed in the packet.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, no. Motion carries, and application number AP 25-1 is approved. Thank you.
Our second application that we have filed, item 3.2, was a variance application filed by Mr. Danny Henry, and his request was for a variance from the limit of the limits of residential property to having 2 rear yard accessory structures, and one of those is a garage, and the other one would be generally a storage shed. The Henrys have moved here from Quinter, Kansas, and they had these 2 structures in Quinter and wanted to move them here, but the Henrys notified us this morning that they had a change of heart and they're putting this property back on the market and are not planning to move, or don't have plans to move 2 additional accessory structures to this lot, so they have withdrawn their application as of this morning, so there's no reason to take any action on item 3.2.
All right, so so this one will be withdrawn?
Yes,
All
we're
right.
just reporting to you that we did advertise it. We sent letters to neighboring property owners, so we still leave it on the agenda to see if anybody has any comment, and also just a report so any neighbors who are monitoring the case can know that it has been withdrawn. Okay. So there's no action required on your part other than for us to report that it's withdrawn, and we'll close the case out. And I don't know if they have another place they're moving to or what, but they have indicated that they're not staying at 714 Highland and not moving the buildings here. So.
Okay, very good. Then that moves us on to unfinished or other business. Do we have any business that you know of, Mr. Andrew?
I don't know of any other unresolved business. We have had some dialogue and conversations with people about a possible variance application. We had one property on, it's at 920 East Iron. It's a vacant corner lot on East Iron, and the house there had a fire and was torn down, so it's vacant, and a builder was putting forward different plans for that property, some of which might have required setback variances to make it fit, but it appears that he has a new plan that won't require any variances. So I can't say for certain that the group won't meet in June, but at the present time, we don't have any cases actually filed for June. So we
Very
will
good.
inform you.
Can we assume that you will not be present at our next meeting?
If that takes place after June 13th, I will not be present.
Okay, well, in light of that, I was wanting to say how much I appreciate your work on behalf of the city as our zoning administrator. You've put forth wonderful effort. I've always been amazed at the amount of information that you've given to us, to the extent that there were very few questions we would have at the end of the presentation from a technical standpoint. And both from my time on the City Commission and another term on the Board of Zoning Appeals and this one, I've have nothing but great things to say about the way that you have provided us with all of the information we needed to make good decisions on behalf of the City of Salina. And I think you've been a great employee on behalf of the city, and I thank you for that.
Well, I've tried to be a good representative for the city. The other thing I've tried to do is I'm trying to train these younger ones up, and so the bar is set here, and here's where the bar is.
Well,
see if you can maintain it. So.
If they can come close to the bar, we'll be fine. But so anyway, any other comments from commissioners at this time?
No.
All right. If none, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And we are adjourned. Thank you.
Yeah.